Hi everybody, and welcome to the July edition of Celebrity Signings. So apologies first of all, this is a little bit late. The reason that this is as late as it is because I actually had to go recording this video a few days ago and completely fucked the recording up. And I could not be bothered to do it again, so it's taken me this long to actually get around to doing another recording, so sorry about it. Also apologies that this video is as long as it is, but I actually had a pretty good month, so there's loads of stuff to cover, so let's just crack straight on. So at the very beginning of July, I went to a celebrity golf event. For those who follow my videos, you'll know I went to one last year, got some really cool stuff. This year I went again, and again got some really cool people, so I'll crack straight on with the people I got. First off is Brendan OCarroll, probably best known as Mrs. Brown from Mrs. Brown's Boys. Truth be known, I absolutely fucking detest the programme, I absolutely hate it, but I knew he was going to be there, so I thought why not bring a picture along to get signed, which I did. So I took along this picture of Mrs. Brown from Mrs. Brown's Boys, and he signed it for me a little reluctantly. He's a bit of a grumpy bugger, but he signed it for me anyway, or at least he was a grumpy bugger on the day. I can't vouch for whether he is or not all the time, but he certainly was on the day that I went. But he signed the picture for me, and I took a picture with him as well, which is really cool. So that's the first person I had, was Brendan OCarroll from Mrs. Brown's Boys. Next up, I actually met this chap last year, but at the time I didn't know he was going to be in Doctor Who. This year I obviously do, so I wanted to make sure I got him again, and of course it's the awesome Bradley Walsh. Unfortunately, when I went to the event, it was just before they'd released the awesome series of Doctor Who companion pictures, so this was the only picture I had to hand. But still, it's Doctor Who one. He plays Graham, as you probably know, in the new series that's due to come out. So I got this signed and also got another picture with Bradley as well. So that's my second time meeting Bradley Walsh now. I imagine once the show comes out, it's probably going to be a little bit more difficult to get sort of one-to-one time with him. So really pleased to get this when I did. Next celebrity I met at the golf event was James Nesbitt. I hoped to catch him last year, but unfortunately I actually missed him. James probably best known for, The Hobbit and Stan Lee's Lucky Man and loads of other stuff like that. But yeah, I missed him last year, so this year I brought along a picture from The Hobbit. This one of him as Bofa from The Hobbit, as I say, which he signed. I really like the way he signed it with the big loop around his eye, which is quite cool. And again, managed to get a picture with James, which is one I missed last year, so really pleased I managed to catch him this time around. And I think lastly, in terms of people I managed to get autographs from at the golf event was Mr. Philip Glenister. Certainly best known to me from Life on Mars. He was also in Ashes to Ashes. I didn't like Ashes to Ashes, but I loved Life on Mars. Here's a picture of him with John Sim. I haven't got anything signed by John yet, so I may possibly see if I can get this multi-signed at some point. Maybe not, we'll see. I also managed to get a couple of photos with Philip Glenister as well. This is one, I actually got a second picture with him later on during the event. But yeah, so they were really cool, and that's Brendan OCarroll. It's, I've already forgotten who else it was, Bradley Walsh, James Nesbitt, and Philip Glenister from the Celebrity Golf event. The next autographs I got back were from Andrew Scott, and these are via venues, probably best known from Sherlock as Moriarty. But he's been in loads of other stuff, including Spectre and lots of other TV and film stuff. So I sent two pictures to him via venue. This one, which I've kind of had to brighten slightly so you can see the autograph, because he signed it across the black bit at the bottom, which makes it a bit difficult to see, so I've had to lighten it up ever so slightly. And then this one, which was just a sort of standard shot that I think is one of his casting shots, but the fact he had a white t-shirt on, I thought that hopefully he'd sign across it and the signature would come out quite nicely. It's not the best of signatures, it looks like a bit of a mess, but that's what they all look like, so I'm not going to complain. So those are my first two pictures from the awesome Andrew Scott. Next up, I did not expect this in a million years to be totally honest, is Mr. Orlando Bloom. He's currently on stage in London through till I think the 8th of September, I think it might be. So just on the off chance, I sent him a couple of pictures. Nobody had any replies back from him, I didn't see anything, and then suddenly I had one of my photos back, and it was this one from Pirates of the Caribbean. I also sent a Lord of the Rings one, which came back unsigned, but I had this one back from Pirates of the Caribbean. Since then, I've seen one or two replies come back, not too many. Some people are saying there's a possibility they're secretarial, but I've seen no proof of that whatsoever. So the fact that a few returns have come back, from what I've seen, I'm very, very happy and fully believe that this is a real Orlando Bloom autograph, so I am very happy with this return. Next up is another via venue request from the awesome Sasha Darwin. He's been in loads of stuff, including the amazing series Utopia, but most recently I've seen him in the Marvel series Iron Fist as the Steel Serpent. Probably my least favourite of the recent Marvel series outputs, to be honest. I prefer Jessica Jones, Luke Cage, that kind of stuff. But you know, he's still a Marvel character and has a fairly decent part in the Iron Fist series. So sent this via venue. Didn't take very long at all. I'm not sure how long it took to come back. Probably a week or so, something like that. So a really cool addition there to my Marvel collection. Next up is Robert Powell, who's probably best known for the comedy series The Detectives, also the series Jesus of Nazareth. I sent him again via venue 2 pictures, this one from Jesus of Nazareth. I actually struggled to find some decent pictures of him, so I also sent one from Holby. I don't really remember his character in Holby City, if I'm totally honest. But he was in it, obviously, and he returned and signed both of those for me. Best wishes, Robert Powell. I did try and catch him in person when he was at a local theatre, but I didn't manage to catch him. So I sent him via venue at another one of the theatres he was at, and yeah, he signed and returned both. Probably took a couple of weeks, I think, which is a really good turnaround. Next up were replies from Donald Sumpter. For me, he's best known from Game of Thrones and Doctor Who, but he's been in absolutely tons of stuff. This is a bit of an odd one because I actually sent him 2 pictures to be signed, and I got 5 back in return. So I don't know whether he decided just to put some of his own in, or whether he accidentally put someone else's photos in with mine. I have no idea, but I sent 2 off and got 5 back. So I got this one back, which is him obviously from Game of Thrones, and this is one that I didn't send. So this is either his own or someone else's picture. I sent this one to him from Doctor Who, and you can probably just see the autograph there across the sort of chest plate on his Time Lord outfit. I'm thinking of sending to Ken Bones at some point, who's the guy stood next to him, to add to my Versailles collection as well, so I may actually send this one back off to be multi-signed. I then got this one back, which is a sort of classic headshot. Again, not one of my own, didn't send this one off to him. I got this one back signed, which is from Game of Thrones, and this is one of the pictures I sent to him. And then I also got this second Doctor Who picture back signed as well, and this one isn't mine. So that's not mine, not mine, not mine. But a great return all the same. 5 autographs back for 2 cents, and took about a month, which is no time at all really. So very, very happy with those. Next up is another via venue. It's Blake Harrison from the In-Betweeners, plays Neil in the In-Betweeners. I'm a massive fan of In-Betweeners. I've only got Simon Bird so far, and that was via venue as well. But I sent this one off to a play that Blake's in at the moment. I think he may still be in it, which is just your sort of typical In-Betweeners cash shot. And he signed the front and on the back. But to Carl, thanks for watching and being my friend. All the best, Blake Harrison. And for those who know the series, you'll know the reference he's talking about there. I thought that was quite cool, but actually I've seen some more replies from him, and he seems to put the same thing on everybody's reply, but what the hell. I really like it, and a nice addition to my very, very small but growing In-Betweeners collection. Next up, and I know this one is going to thrill a few people, including Daniel, is the awesome Rhys Evans, who is best known for, well, I mean, lots of stuff. Notting Hill, I think he was in, Spider-Man, but for me, the reason I wanted these autographs was for his role he played in Twin Town. I'm a massive fan of Twin Town. If you haven't seen it, you should. It is amazing. It's hilariously funny. It's like the Welsh train spotting, basically. He's in a play at the moment for a little while still, I think, so I sent him a couple of pictures. I sent him this picture from Spider-Man, which he signed and returned, and also this one from Twin Town as well, which he signed, and I love this picture. I was absolutely thrilled with it, but what you can't see on this, because it hasn't really come out in the photo, is that both photos were literally bent in half down the middle, so the actual picture itself is in a terrible condition, which is gutting because I really wanted to send this off to his brother, who's the guy behind him, Rhys Evans. I wanted to send it off to him so I could get it multi-signed, so I'm going to have to resend to Rhys at some point to try and get this re-signed again, because it's just in no decent quality at all. Everyone seems to be having lots of problems with stuff sent back from Rhys in one reason or another, but I'm going to resend and try and get something back from him. But that was really cool anyway, from via venue. Next up was Nigel Planer from The Young Ones and Comic Strip Presents and loads of other stuff. For those who watch my videos, you'll know I already got an autograph from Nigel Planer probably a couple of months ago. It was a black and white picture, and unfortunately signed over quite a dark part of the pictures, didn't come out very well. So I sent him this colour one in the hope that I could then send it on to Christopher Ryan and get it multi-signed by him. But unfortunately, what you'll probably see by Vivian's head, Vivian, the guy with the orange hair, for those who don't know The Young Ones, you'll see there's a crease running right the way down the picture, so another one that's been bent in the post. So I'm just going to leave it as a single signed. I'm not going to bother sending it on to Chris Ryan because it is bent and it's not in great condition. I don't know whether it's happening at venues or at the agents, or whether my postie is bending them, despite the fact I'm writing "please do not bend" on the fucking envelopes. But they're getting bent anyway, so great return, but one I can't send on to anyone else, unfortunately, which is a bit of a bummer. Next up is a purchase, and it's from Annika Wills. Annika's probably best known for playing Polly in Doctor Who. She was Polly kind of just in the rollover between William Hartnell and Patrick Troughton's series. This is a picture of her with Michael Craze, who's sadly no longer with us. But I purchased this from her website. I only have one Annika Wills autograph at the moment, other than this one, and it's a multi-signed book, so I wanted this on a photograph. So I went to a website. They're really decently priced, and she's got some quality pictures on there, really, really nice pictures. So really happy with this one of Annika and Michael, and she signed it to Carl, love Annika Wills, and then she's added Polly onto it as well, which I specifically asked for, just in case she didn't add that to her pictures anyway. Took no time at all really to come through, and a really, really nice addition. I'm very happy with this one to add to my Doctor Who collection. Moving on, next up we have Richard OSullivan. Now Richard's probably best known to viewers from British TV during the sort of 80s and early 90s, I guess. Probably best known for things like Man About the House, and kind of Me and My Girl, I think was the name of the series he was in as well, and some of the Carry On stuff as well. I was umming and ahhing whether to send these. Unfortunately, quite a few years ago, Richard had a fairly serious stroke, and he's been in a care home, really, for want of a better description, for some time. But I was reading recently about a success that someone had back from him, and basically how much he loves to get fan mail from people. And I thought, well, I will send to him, even though I was a bit dubious about it to begin with. I will send to him. So I sent him two pictures. This one from Man About the House, and this one from the series, which I think, as I say, was called Me and My Girl. And he signed and returned both of these in about 4 days, which is an incredibly quick turnaround. Obviously loves having letters from fans still, and knowing that he's still, you know, thought about by fans, I guess. So I was really pleased that I sent these to him. His best wishes, Rich O'Sullivan, on both of them. And very, very happy to have had them both back, which is great. Next up were a set of purchases, actually, from a website, an auction site in the UK. Well, they're not an auction site as such. They're basically a live auction that takes place in the UK, but they have a website as well that they sell on. They're the UK's largest specialist auctioneer in film and television memorabilia, and predominantly they tend to auction off things like dinky cars and specialist stuff like that, which go for ridiculous amounts of money. But they had this sale from these two people who were a married couple who been collecting autographs for the last 40-50 years, I think, and basically their autograph collection, amongst loads of other stuff, was being sold. So I signed myself up to the website, did a little bit of bidding, and managed to win some stuff, which I was really pleased about. I've only put a very small selection of the stuff I won on my blog, mainly because there's quite a lot of it, but also some of it wasn't really stuff I was after, but these are the main ones that I've decided to then put up onto the blog to show what I got. So the first thing I got was this, which is a signed picture by the awesome Spike Milligan. I already have a Spike Milligan signed picture, but this is a much earlier example. The one I got was probably I probably got from Spike, I don't know, maybe 4 or 5 years before he passed away, but this is a much earlier one, maybe sort of 10, 15 years, maybe even 20 years before that. So this is a really nice early example of Spike's autograph. So really, really pleased to get this, especially as it's unfortunately no longer with us, so it's quite hard to get autographed stuff from people like Spike, who was obviously a member of the Goon Show. He was in Life of Brian, very, very small part in that, author, loads of really cool stuff. So very pleased to purchase that. As part of the same lot lot, I also got this picture signed by Michael Bentine, who was one of the original Goons and created the Goon Show with Spike Milligan, Harry Seacombe, Peter Sellers. Only really did a very small percentage of their early radio stuff and then left the Goons, but he's one of the founder members of the Goons, and his stuff seems to be quite difficult to get hold of. So this signed picture, which is signed in biro or ballpoint pen, it says "Best wishes, Michael Bentine," and I'm really pleased to got this one as well, because the Spike Milligan and the Michael Bentine were definitely the two that I was after most of all. But then another lot came up which had loads of great autographs in, but had one in particular, or a set in particular, I really wanted. For those who know or don't know, or maybe watch some of my videos, I'm a massive fan of the Carry On films, the early sort of 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s ridiculous British farcical, bawdy humour comedies. I love them, absolutely love them. But somebody who I never had in my collection is the awesome Mr. Terry Scott. He acted with June Whitfield in the series Terry and June. He was from Carry On films, as was June Whitfield. He did the voice of Penfold in Danger Mouse, and obviously June Whitfield was in Ab Fab as well. I already have June Whitfield's autograph on a Carry On picture, but this particular lot that came up in the auction, there were 3 photographs signed by Terry Scott, 2 of which are multi-signed. So you can see here, this one is signed by Terry Scott and June Whitfield. This one is also signed by Terry Scott and June Whitfield. And then there was a single Terry Scott autograph picture as well. And if you kind of move them quickly, it looks like she's looking at... Maybe it's just me. I don't know. Anyway, so I'm going off a bit track there. But yeah, I really wanted Terry Scott in my autograph collection, so to get 3 of these was fantastic. I'm really, really pleased to add them. So that's a multi-signed Terry and June, and a single signed Terry Scott as well. And that is it for July. So yeah, I hope you've enjoyed the video. I'm sorry it's probably rocking on for like 18-19 minutes long or something by the time I've tacked a start and end on. Hope you've enjoyed it. That's it for this month. Please like, subscribe, and most importantly of all, please comment if there's anything you'd like to say about my collection or any other videos you'd like to see me do going forward. I'd love to hear from you if you've got any suggestions. And next month should be pretty cool, because I'm already looking at about 10 to 12 autographs already so far this month. So August's video should be pretty cool as well. So please do come back when that video is released, and hopefully we'll go through some of the cool stuff I've had from August. Thanks very much for watching. Always appreciated. Speak to you again soon.